So why aren't those people addressing the people who specialize in this? Why is one person addressing the nation every time? Why were institutions created? What was the need? India is finally shining. Satellite images look like India is glowing.
An alarming event when Gorakhpur tragedy happened in back in 2018 or 19 in Gorakhpur. There are around 50 children died due to the insufficiency of oxygen.
We all know that the nation is going through a huge uh, turmoil right now. We are in a turmoil. We are in a very extremely bad situation. Uh, we are from Kerala, and sitting in Kerala, when we go through the Twitter feeds and the Facebook posts, there is some sort of helplessness that creeps through those feeds and tweets that you know that affects us in so many ways. We feel such helplessness. We are stuck in our homes. We can't do anything. We cannot even imagine, even a, a tenth of what you are feeling and what you're going through. So we felt that this is one way we can connect to you. We can listen to what you're going through, and we can, you know, share uh, what is what our uh, respects to you. So I guess we'd love to hear about what you're going through. And we here at Font in Kerala are very sad of what we are going through as a nation. And we are sadder regarding the fact that there are a lot of people who are trying to cover up what is happening to us. I am scared of the fact that there are people hounding people who are revealing the actual facts about the second wave of pandemic. So I think we can start talking about it. So without further ado, I just want to ask you people. I read the news this morning that the UP government has been actively hounding people, and they have even threatened to confiscate the properties of those who are going to tweet or post about the real condition in UP. What is up with that? How can they hound people in the daylight like this?
It's a very old habit of it's very old and notorious habit of UP government. They are very good in confiscating properties of activists, students, anyone who is who comes up with facts and truth, because they have made a castle which is entirely built up with the lies and lies, uh, rumors. They spread rumor. They themselves, being in the government, they are spreading rumors. If it's a very bad law that you are saying that we will confiscate properties those who are spreading rumors. According to them, that insufficiency of oxygen is rumor, insufficiency of medical facilities is a rumor. It is it it happened. It was an alarming event when Gorakhpur tragedy happened in back in 2018 or 19. I have just forgotten. But there in Gorakhpur, there are around 50 children died due to the insufficiency of oxygen. They were having that fever. Hmm. And it was alarming. We from SFI and DYFI, we circulated pamphlets and demanding to the government and our administration that the entire our medical hospitals and our health centers which are there in rural area should be equipped with medical facilities and oxygen, chiefly. But it is they are ignoring it, they are completely ignoring it. And now what we are saying, that entire country, I am seeing here in Delhi, and I'm getting the news from my comrades and my friends from Allahabad. There are teams, 2 3 teams active in Delhi and as well as Allahabad, who are complete who is which are working for arranging this sort of facilities wherever they are uh, they are there. So there are actually there are no oxygen, no, there are very disturbed condition all around India, but the government is not accepting it. Government has 2 or 3 days back, they have our chief minister has said that there is no deficiency of oxygen, no deficiency of health centers, and oxygen beds, ventilator, ICU. And Amit Shah has also said that India has fought a very remarkable fight uh, against corona, and our PM also was bragging and boasting 1 month back that where are those people who were predicting about the second wave, and all now we have nothing. But the ground level truth is that we are losing our people, we are losing many of people. We have lost our professors, our dear professors who have taught us, who has shaped us. We are in loss, we are in deep loss. These are personal losses of people. The entire country has lost their ones. And if they are
Yeah.
I'm concluding it, if they are regarding it as a rumor, they regard it, they can they not only confiscate, if they go a step ahead, they will charge us with NSA or UAPA. Nothing can
Yeah.
we can do nothing.
Yeah.
Complete
Yeah. Yeah. So about hounding and the treatment that the government uh, gives to its people here in UP, we've all witnessed the absurdity of the events and the way the government handles the situation. So the best way is
Yeah.
to erase
Yeah.
data, or the best way is to have a propaganda against people who are trying to give out the real facts. It is not just
Yeah.
emergency situation in India, but if something happens here at this scale and to this extent, it will be an international
Yeah.
emergency. The international community is suffering because of us here, because we are not ready to
Yeah.
share the data. India can actually contribute. We can, improve our vaccines. We can improve our right now, because it has become the hub. It has become the biggest hotspot in the world, and we have the
Yeah.
richest data. Unfortunately, we have the richest data right now, but we're not ready
Yeah.
to share the real data. We are actually not just harming our own people, we are harming it internationally. We are harming everyone around us. And this hounding,
Yeah.
business that the government has always harped upon, it has not. It has always been there. Whether we talk about the riots that happened, people who were protesting, they were declared as rioters, and their posters were put. So this government doesn't
Yeah.
mind putting people in danger. So if you put out posters
Yeah.
like that, and if you say no, it's a harmless and it's a benign thing to do, and these people should be recognized, that means you don't bother about their lives, you don't bother about their houses, their families, because you're making them so vulnerable that anybody can just go and attack them. And the anger level is
Yeah.
increasing because of that. The social fabric has been destroyed because of all these things. Actually, government is the biggest rumor spreader. And thankfully, some of the news channels, most of the news channels here, the mainstream news channels are not talking about it the way people, the way the government is lying, the way the government officials are lying. But thankfully, one
Yeah.
channel, they went out on the screen and said the chief minister is lying. For the first time, I heard some news channels say that, and I was so relieved that somebody is actually speaking out. And they also said that now
Yeah.
whatever charges you want to slap against us, please do that, because they themselves were showing that in Meerut, in Gurgaon, everywhere, in Ghaziabad, there is no oxygen supply. There are no ports. If there is oxygen, there are no ports. So lack of facility scarcity at different levels is very, very high. So if they are trying to and confiscating, property, attaching property, what kind of it just needs, I don't know what kind of a mind you require for such actions.
Yeah. Because do
It is
you
total
have?
failure of leadership. Absolutely.
Yes, completely. Because do you have something to add to what she said right now? I don't know if he can hear us. I don't think he can hear us. Vikas sir, his video is also stuck, so I guess that's that. So, regarding the lack of oxygen and basic healthcare facilities, there are also new. There, I've heard a lot of rumors. I'm not calling them. I have to call them rumors because this one I heard. So there are people out there saying that drugs like remdesivir, etc., are being sold on the black market. We have come to such a juncture as a country that one would like to not believe such facts when when it comes to us. I'd like to not believe such facts because that is something so sick. That is something only sick people can do. Like, why would they sell such important medicines in the black market for uh, prices that are 10 times, 5 times higher than the original price? So you guys, I don't know if you have anything to share regarding that. If you do have something to share regarding that, please open up. Yeah.
I have some experiences of it. I had posted
Yeah.
a post seeking for remdesivir because it was essential and it was required to a patient. Now, one of my friends called
Yeah.
that and gave me information that there is remdesivir available. We needed it in Allahabad, but he called me that if you do not get it in Allahabad, there is a person who is selling
Yeah.
remdesivir in 36,000. Because he himself bought it in black market and he's selling it in black. So and there are lots of people, we are coming to these people because people just give the clue that there is remdesivir available, but in black it will cost you 50,000, 10,000, 50,000, 60,000 even, and the oxygen cylinders are being sold at 80,000 rupees. So they are essential things. They are essential facilities, and they are being sold in black market. Of course, any one of us would not like to hear it, would not like to
Yeah.
regard them true, but it is true. It's happening in India because there is no guideline. I think there, in fact, entire government has failed and the machinery has failed. Government is saying that we can avail these facilities only who are needy, who are in severe requirement, or who are in uh, requirement, who are the most eligible person. So these are the things that needy persons, required persons, they can be manipulated. Government itself is holding the stock, and then the things, then the medicines and all the facilities are being sold in black market onto the table. They are being circulated. We have observed it, we have seen it, we have
Yeah. On a lighter note, I started market. Nothing, everything is moved to black market basically. So it is lower in black market in different places. So in Aligarh, in Lucknow, so we were trying to explore the black market now. That is the situation. That we're trying to compare the prices of black market in different
Yeah.
places. The situation has come to that. So he's right that like in Aligarh, I can tell you, we were trying to get remdesivir for a friend's sister basically, and it wasn't available there at that time. And the procedure also, they have made it so complicated. You have to get a form and fill it and get it signed by the CMO, and again get submitted somewhere, again get it signed and then submit. And then there is possibility that you might get something and not sure if you'll get the exact amount you need. So to avoid that, they wanted to get something from Lucknow because they found a lead there. So they needed about 5 of these medicines, and then it costed them. So they were trying to compare the price. So from Lucknow at that time, like 3-4 days ago, 20,000 per injection they wanted. So they wanted 5 of them. So imagine that's how people are trying to explore medicines and injections and other facilities from black market. They have to compare the prices. We have come to that. And oxygen cylinders, as we keep saying that, in our medical college, JNMC in Aligarh, we're seeing that people are dying in the corridors everywhere, and people who are able to manage oxygen cylinders, they're going there. Now AMU is trying to have its own oxygen plant, which will be hopefully installed in 3-4 weeks, they're saying, because after seeing the situation. And AMU was one of the biggest contributors to PM Care Fund, mind you. And now we are on our own. And I wish we didn't do that. And our salaries were gone, and like we are here witnessing and dying. This is the level of ignorance, negligence. It is criminal negligence what has happened. Like in past 1 year, we couldn't manage the basic facilities. What else to talk about it?
Yeah, it is sickening to know that there are people exploiting the helplessness of an entire nation by hoarding medicines and oxygen cylinders. And then there are those who are trying to cover it up shamelessly. So, regarding tweets and posts, the other day I was watching a journalist go live on Instagram, and I heard her say that the crematoriums are booked tightly booked for the next 3 days, and people are trying to find places to burn bodies of their loved ones. So, what do you have to say about this? This has become the image of India in the front pages of international newspapers, in BBC News, in Fox News, in all the news stations abroad. What do you have to say about this new alarming picture of our nation that is circulating worldwide as our government sits here with a blind eye turned towards it?
India is finally shining. Glowing. Yeah. If you, I don't know, satellite images look like India's glowing.
Yes.
Yeah, what to say? Because here, so yes, yeah, you go ahead first. Yeah.
I think Comrade Vikas wants to say add something. Are you there?
हेलो हाँ आवाज आ रही है हमारी
Yeah.
Yes,
हाँ वो
sir.
कोई
Yes, sir.
एक्चुअली इस समय वो मैं कोविड प्रोटोकॉल भी फॉलो कर रहा हूँ तो मैं कमरे से बाहर नहीं निकल रहा है लेकिन थोड़ा आज ब्रेक करके मैं मास्क लगा के अपने उस बाहर तक आ गया हूँ कि ताकि नेटवर्क कनेक्टिविटी मिल जाए एक
Yes,
तो जो मेरी बात हुई थी भाद्रा वाटर से कि मैं कुछ अपने पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस के साथ सिचुएशन पे बात करता हूँ कुछ
Yes, sir.
जो है ऋषि खाने और सुयश ने बाकी चीजें बता दी होंगी बहुत सारे एक्सपीरियंस हम लोगों को कॉमन है क्योंकि हम लोग उत्तर प्रदेश में हैं और एक
Yes,
ही
sir.
जैसी दिक्कत को झेल रहे हैं अभी आपको बता दें आप लोगों ने रेमडेसिविर इंजेक्शन ऑक्सीजन वेंटिलेटर बड़ी फैसिलिटी की बात की सिंपल से आपको बता दूं 20 तारीख को मैं कोविड टेस्ट कराने गया था वो भी बस ऐसे ही चला गया था कराने की शायद कोई दिक्कत न हो क्योंकि मुझे अपनी एक दोस्त की बहन के लिए ब्लड देना था उनका जो है ऑपरेशन से उनको बेबी होना था डिलीवरी तो प्रिकॉशन के तौर पे हम पहले से ही वो तैयारी के लिए गए थे वहां की हम पहले से चेक कर ले कहीं मैं कोविड पॉजिटिव तो नहीं हूँ अगर होगा तो कोई दूसरा अरेंजमेंट देखेंगे उनको ब्लड अरेंजमेंट के लिए उसके बाद मेरा रैपिड टेस्ट में पॉजिटिव आया हालांकि अच्छा टेस्ट भी 2 तरह के टेस्ट होते हैं एक तो रैपिड टेस्ट करते हैं दूसरा आरटीपीसीआर तो इन्होंने एंटीजन टेस्ट का ही रिपोर्ट दिया बाकी आरटीपीसीआर रिपोर्ट मेरी नहीं मिली खैर रैपिड टेस्ट में जो पॉजिटिव होते हैं ज्यादातर वो आरटीपीसीआर में भी पॉजिटिव हूँ खैर मुझे कोई सिम्टम नहीं मैं आया 20 तारीख से 20 अप्रैल से लगातार आइसोलेशन में हूँ उसके बाद अगले दिन 4-5 फोन आता है डिस्ट्रिक्ट हेडक्वार्टर से कि आपका नाम डिटेल फैमिली कितने बहन भाई और सबका डिटेल मैंने कहा मैं स्टूडेंट हूँ और यहाँ रहता हूँ मैं एक जगह और अलग अलग कमरे में हम लोग रहते हैं आइसोलेशन में हूँ लेकिन दवा आपने जो कहा था कि आप जाइए घर आपको दवा भेजेंगे मेडिसिन भेजेंगे वो मेडिसिन नहीं भेजा तो उन्होंने कहा अच्छा ठीक है भेज देंगे सैनिटाइजर वाला 3 बार फोन किया वो गेट के बाहर की ओर हल्का सा सैनिटाइज करके फोटो खींच के चले गए तो लगा कि पूरा घर सैनिटाइज हो गया पूरा मोहल्ला उसके बाद दूसरे दिन एक्चुअली दवा तो हमने मंगा ली थी मेडिसिन हमने मंगा ली थी कुछ डॉक्टर से, फैमिली में भी डॉक्टर हैं तो दवा मंगा ली। अगले दिन फोन किया तो वो हमको 3-4 सीएमओ का नंबर दिया, कुछ डॉक्टर का, लेकिन मेडिसिन की अवेलेबिलिटी के बारे में कोई रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं। 2 दिन बाद सीएम ऑफिस से फोन आया कि आपको प्रॉब्लम है। हम कहे हाँ, कहें दवा चाहिए? हम कहे दवा बिल्कुल चाहिए, अगर हमको जरूरत पड़ गई तो हम कहाँ जाएंगे, और हम तो आइसोलेशन में हैं, हम जा नहीं सकते हैं पब्लिक प्लेस पे। वो नहीं आया। वो फिर 2 दिन बाद कल एक फोन सीएम ऑफिस से आया था, मैं अपना कुछ वॉशरूम वगैरह में था तो मिस हो गया। उसके बाद फिर आज फिर आया तो उन्होंने कहा कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, लेकिन दवा आपने जो भेजने को कहा था भेजा नहीं। मतलब ये है ना कि जो सिंपल सा मेडिसिन है, जो भी कोविड टेस्ट पॉजिटिव आ रहे हैं, जिनको 4-5 दिन खाना है, उनको कोई सिम्पटम हो या न हो, 4-5 दिन खाना है, उनको 2 हफ्ते तक जो है 2 वीक एटलीस्ट आपको वो कोविड प्रोटोकॉल जो भी आइसोलेशन रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशन है फॉलो करना है। तो इसको इंश्योर करने की जिम्मेवारी एज ए इंडिविजुअल तो हमने अपनी निभाई, स्टेट की भी तो कुछ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बनती है ना। अब जैसे कि जो हाइजीन डिसिप्लिन है, हमारे नॉर्थ इंडिया में हाइजीन डिसिप्लिन का एक बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है कि आप किसी को अगर मना कर दो कि यहाँ थूकिए नहीं, वो थूकने के लिए आपसे लड़ जाएगा। ये प्रॉब्लम है, ये कल्चरल प्रॉब्लम है, लेकिन उसके साथ स्टेट सिस्टम भी एक जिम्मेवार होता है। अगर आप पब्लिक हेल्थ केयर का ध्यान दें, टॉयलेट साफ स्वच्छ रखें। जैसे हम लोग स्टूडेंट्स मूवमेंट से रहे हैं और मैंने ये ऑब्जर्व किया है कि गर्ल्स टॉयलेट बहुत सारी यूनिवर्सिटीज में नहीं रहे हैं, वो भी एक हेल्थ इश्यूज बन जाता है। मतलब कि कई बार तो हमारे प्रोटेस्ट मूवमेंट इस बात को लेकर थे कि गर्ल्स टॉयलेट बना दो, जबकि ये कोई इश्यू होना नहीं चाहिए कि स्टूडेंट मूवमेंट के लिहाज से उनके यहाँ लाइब्रेरी, बुक फैसिलिटी, बाकी चीजें जरूरी होनी चाहिए, लेकिन ये भी एक बात कहनी पड़ रही है। तो स्टेट सिस्टम के हिसाब से ये इंतजाम भी नहीं है कि आपने कोई हेल्थ केयर का इंतजाम किया हुआ है। दूसरा उसी से जुड़ा हुआ कल्चर भी है। अगर पिछली बार जब लॉकडाउन शुरू किया गया तब ये उम्मीद की जा रही है कि हम बाहर न निकले, निकले तो मास्क लगा के निकले, लेकिन उत्तर प्रदेश गवर्नमेंट का देखें, उसी बार जिस दिन लॉकडाउन फाइनली अनाउंस हुआ है सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट द्वारा लास्ट ईयर, उसके ही दिन जो है हमारे मुख्यमंत्री जी वहां अयोध्या में जाके एक टेम्पोररी वहां पर एक मूर्ति स्टैब्लिश करते हैं राम मंदिर के लिए। तो ये भी है ना कि आप कौन सा रोल प्ले करते हैं। भाई जो राज्य के प्रतिनिधि, स्टेट रिप्रेजेंटेटिव, उनको भी एक रोल मॉडल प्ले करना पड़ता है। अगर आप प्ले नहीं करते हैं तो फिर जो आम सिटीजन है उनके साथ आप उनसे क्या उम्मीद करेंगे। दूसरा एक है मेकिंग ऑफ जो सिटीजन का कॉन्सेप्ट है कि हमारे यहाँ कोई सिटीजनशिप या कैसे अच्छे नागरिक बनाए जाए, इसकी कोई प्रक्रिया नहीं है, इसके बारे में कुछ देखा नहीं जाता है। पिछली बार जो तबलीगी जमात का इशू क्रिएट किया, जबकि हमें मानते हैं अगर किसी ने गलती की तो उसको एज ए सिटीजन उसका फॉल्ट बोलो ना, क्योंकि अंदर सिटीजनशिप का, हाइजीन का अंडरस्टैंडिंग नहीं है, एक अनुशासित नागरिक होने का समझ नहीं है, तो वो तो सबसे उम्मीद की जानी चाहिए ना। लेकिन उसको एक आपका जो पहले से ही कोई प्रेजुडिस बायस होता है, और ऐसे पैंडेमिक में, ऐसे डिप्रेसिंग माहौल में एक और उन्मादी माहौल बनाने का काम किया। और इस बार का कंपेयर करें तो जबकि अक्टूबर में सेकेंड वेव की खबर आ गई थी कि इंडिया में भी कुछ केसेस यूके स्ट्रेन के आ रहे हैं, आप संभल जाइए। उसके बाद भी उत्तर प्रदेश में कुंभ मेला लगता है और इस बीच में पंचायत चुनाव हुए हैं। पीएम केयर फंड का भी साथी तरु जिक्र कर रही थी कि वो वहां पर एएमयू बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूटर रहा है। बड़े कंट्रीब्यूटर के तौर पे जो प्राइमरी और बेसिक लेवल के एजुकेशन में काम करने वाले कर्मचारी हैं, शिक्षक हैं, मेरे ब्रदर इन लॉ जो है वो भी टीचर हैं, मेरी सिस्टर टीचर है, दोनों लोगों ने पीएम केयर फंड को डोनेट किया। अच्छा एक खासा अमाउंट, मुझे एग्जैक्ट फिगर नहीं याद है, लेकिन ये काफी ठीक ठाक वो उन्होंने भेजा। अभी रिपोर्ट आई है कि 150 अराउंड, मोर देन 135, 150 अराउंड जो प्राइमरी एजुकेशन के शिक्षा मित्र हैं, टीचर हैं, वो लोग, उनकी डेथ हो गई है और 70% के अराउंड जो है लोग वो पॉजिटिव पाए गए हैं। मेरे ब्रदर इन लॉ खुद पॉजिटिव पाए गए जो है। मतलब इस बीच में आपने इलेक्शन कराया और वो
अपॉइंटेड इन इलेक्शन ड्यूटी।
आप, और कई बार तो ये कहा कि आपको अगर कि कुछ लोगों ने कहा कि भाई हमें कोरोना है, लेकिन फिर भी नहीं, आपको करना है ड्यूटी। मतलब इस लेवल का जो काम किया वो 4 महीने पहले कराया जा सकता था इलेक्शन, या 4 महीने बाद कराते। जब ये प्रॉब्लम लगातार शुरू हो रही है, उस बीच में भी ये आप दिक्कत दे रहे हैं। दूसरा आपको बताएं, ये सिलेंडर की स्थिति है, ऑक्सीजन का ये है कि बड़े बड़े शहरों में 40-40 हजार रुपए में मिल रहा है, और अभी योगी आदित्यनाथ ने जो फैसला किया कि आप इंडिविजुअल्स को नहीं देंगे और इंडिविजुअल्स को देंगे कि जो बहुत सीरियस पेशेंट है। तो ये कैसे डिसाइड होगा कोई सीरियस पेशेंट है? भाई कोई पैमाना नहीं होता ना, बहुत सारे हॉस्पिटल में बेड नहीं है, वेंटिलेटर नहीं है, और हम 3 लोग जो पैनलिस्ट हैं, अगर हम लोगों को भी अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम हो तो हम लोग भी अभी हॉस्पिटल जाना प्रेफर नहीं करेंगे, क्योंकि हमको हॉस्पिटल की बदहाली का अंदाजा है। ऐसी स्थिति में आप जो है ऑक्सीजन की फैसिलिटी का आप कह रहे हैं कि कोई सीरियस पेशेंट होगा, सीरियसनेस का क्या पैमाना होगा? दूसरी बात ये है कि जो ऑक्सीजन के अवेलेबिलिटी का मामला है, बहुत सारे जो शहरों से दूर बना जा रहे हैं, जैसे लखनऊ का मामला, वहाँ सीतापुर रोड पे है, तालकटोरा 2 दिन पहले बंद है। तो ये भी एक डिमांड आ रही है कि बीच में जो बड़े-बड़े टैंकर होते हैं जो रिफिल कर सकें, उसको बीच-बीच में सेंटर में शहर के या हॉस्पिटल के आस-पास आप कैसे कैसे कुछ सेंटर बनाइए ताकि वो उसकी हो जाए, उनकी भरपाई, उसकी जो आपूर्ति की जा सके। दूसरा है रेमडेसिविर इंजेक्शन का, मेरे कॉलेज में सीनियर थी हमारी, उन्होंने बताया उनकी बड़ी बहन को दिक्कत हुआ। ये जो 2,500-3 हज़ार रुपए का रेमडेसिविर इंजेक्शन है, जो 10-11 हज़ार रुपए में कुछ दिन पहले बिक रहा था, वही इंजेक्शन 40-40 हज़ार रुपए में, मतलब 40,000 अराउंड वो दिया जा रहे हैं। और बड़े शहरों की अब दिक्कत इतनी बढ़ी हुई है कि बड़े शहरों से लखनऊ से लोग बस्ती जा रहे हैं, लखनऊ से लोग बलरामपुर जा रहे हैं। लखनऊ में सिलेंडर ऑक्सीजन की भरपाई के लिए शामली, मुजफ्फरनगर और बस्ती तक से भी वो उसकी भरपाई करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। दूसरी बात ये थी कि 1 साल जो अभी ये फरवरी में कहने लगे कि हम तो खत्म कर चुके हैं पूरा कोविड जो है, हमने जीत लिया है पूरा जंग जो है, लेकिन सिचुएशन क्राइसिस में थी। आप जैसे युद्ध के दौरान जो है आप अपना एक इमरजेंसी अपना सैनिक तैयार किए रहते हैं कि कहीं कोई इमरजेंसी वार होता है उसके लिए तैयार करते हैं। इसी तरह से पैंडेमिक या कोई भी डिजास्टर से लड़ने के लिए आप जो है आपको ये भी हेल्थ वर्कर का, नर्सिंग स्टाफ का, डॉक्टर का, हेल्थ फैसिलिटी को भी इंश्योर करना होता है, उसके बगैर आप नहीं लड़ सकते हैं। पैंडेमिक का तो छोड़ दीजिए, यूपी और बिहार जैसे राज्यों में देखें तो कई बार जो है अलग-अलग जो वायरल इन्फेक्शन होता है, सूर्य जिक्र कर रहे थे कि ऑक्सीजन की कमी से 2 साल पहले जो है, ये 2017 या 18 अगस्त की बात है, उस समय जो है 100 के आसपास बच्चे मर गए और वो ऑक्सीजन की क्राइसिस हम झेल चुके थे। तो पैंडेमिक छोड़ दीजिए, नॉर्मल समय में जो हमारे यहाँ वायरल इन्फेक्शन होता है, उससे आप नहीं लड़ सकते हैं। लखनऊ का एक हालत बताते हैं, अभी 3 साल पहले हमारे एक साथी को जो है वो उनको डेंगू की उनकी शिकायत थी, तो वहाँ उनको एडमिट तो कर लिया, लेकिन आपका ट्रीटमेंट तब शुरू होगा जब बेड मिलेगा। तो हम कई लोग बेड के इंतजार में थे, बेड मरीज हटा नहीं, उसका चादर नहीं हटा, 1-2 लोग लेट गए कि जब तक वो दूसरा बेड बिछेगा तब तक इनको लिटा दीजिए। तो ये सिचुएशन तो नॉर्मल कंडीशन में भी हमने झेला है, मतलब ये अगर आप गलतियों से सबक नहीं ले रहे हैं, सबक लेने की जरूरत नहीं कि आप उससे एक लेसन लीजिए कि पिछली बार हमने जो दिक्कत झेली है तो अभी कम से कम हॉस्पिटल बेड, वेंटिलेटर उसका इंतजाम करें। दूसरा है जो स्टेट रिप्रेजेंटेटिव की जिस तरह की बात आ रही है, जो हमारे मुख्यमंत्री कह रहे हैं, वो फिल्मी डायलॉग नहीं हो रहा है ना कि बक्सा नहीं जाएगा, हाईकोर्ट कह रहा है कि हम उल्टा लटका देंगे, क्या हो रहा है, मजाक हो रहा है। आप इंश्योर करिए कि कैसे चीजों को कर सके। हम ये भी नहीं कह रहे कि ये कौन सी गवर्नमेंट है, किस तरह गवर्नमेंट है, और पीछे जाकर उससे बहुत रोना भी नहीं रोना है। आज की तारीख से चेंज जाइए, क्या क्या इंतजाम कर सकते हैं, और जो भी पल्स पोलियो अभियान से जुड़े रहे हैं, एड्स अभियान से जुड़े हुए रहे हैं, जिनके एक्सपीरियंसेस हैं उनसे आप पूछिए ना, उनको इन्वॉल्व करिए। आप डॉक्टर नहीं हैं, कई जगह डॉक्टर की शिकायत ये आ रही है कि प्रशासन के लोग हमको ये बता रहे हैं कि कब किसको कौन सी दवा खिलानी है, किस टाइम पे खिलानी है। कहा डॉक्टर को डॉक्टर का काम करने दीजिए। यहाँ सबसे बड़ी दिक्कत ये है जो खास करके हमारे इस रीजन में है कि हर आदमी तो डॉक्टर बनना पड़ा रहता है, बताने लगेगा। डॉक्टर को, साइंटिस्ट को उनको अपना काम करने दीजिए, उनसे मैनेजमेंट उनको कोऑपरेट करिए। तो ये बात है ना, आप खुद डॉक्टर मत बन जाइए कि हमने खुद से खत्म करे। डॉक्टर से, साइंटिस्ट से, जो आईसीएमआर है, हमारे एम्स के जितने भी रिसर्चर हैं, या दूसरे देशों से आप अनुभव लीजिए ना। एक तो केरल से आप हैं, आपको ज्यादा अच्छा है कि जो हम लोग रिपोर्ट भी सुनते हैं केरल में एक बेहतर मैनेजमेंट है, आप वहां से सीख सकते हैं। दक्षिण भारत के कुछ राज्य हैं जहां से कुछ बेहतर इंतजाम किए जा रहे हैं, वहां से कुछ सीख सकते हैं। फिर आप लोगों को इन्वॉल्व करिए। इस समय वो सत्ता पक्ष या विपक्ष के अलावा इस महामारी से कैसे लड़ेंगे। आपके भी मतलब ये सत्ता पक्ष के भी कई मंत्री के परिवार के लोग अभी उनका निधन हो गया है, उनकी डेथ हो गई है। तो जिनका काम उनको करने दीजिए, बजाय कि पीछे हिंदी फिल्मों के डायलॉग के बजाय अभी क्या कर सकते हैं, कैसे बेहतर कर सकते हैं, उसको सीखने की जरूरत है। तो ये थी मेरी अपनी तरफ से बातें, बाकी साथी अपना रखें। धन्यवाद।
About what Vikas said about the constant practice, if people are kept out of job, if nurses are kept out of job, and recently Vikas and I, we wrote like last year when the pandemic started and there was scarcity of human resource, and we were falling short of nursing staff and doctors. Even they were resigning because of the uncertainty and the lack of facilities and lack of protection. So there were many nurses in different states who were protesting because they were trained, they had invested so much in their education, and they were out of job. There was no work for them. And the ones who were working in private facilities, they were getting zilch. So they felt that the ratio, the weight of risk is too high compared to their salary. So many of them were leaving those private facilities as well. So we wrote that, and there are many researchers, very good researchers, which show that you have to be on job to be a better decision maker. Just getting education from an institution won't help you. It comes with hands-on experience, with the on-the-job experience. Decision making, another very big issue that has emerged during this pandemic experience. Everywhere we are seeing decision making, because you need decision in a fraction of a second. So even very since most of the junior doctors trainees are seeing, because most of the OPDs are closed, trauma centers or other emergency centers are open, and there most of the junior doctors are dealing with it. Unfortunately, their lives are at risk as well. So if you're not keeping people on job, if you haven't maintained that kind of a system where you have good enough health staff, because they also need to take breaks, they also need to take rest, and you are also putting their lives at risk. So this is a decision making has been, we've lost many people who couldn't survive just because the decision was not taken at the right time by the different levels of decision makers in the hospitals, at the level of the state level, at the institution level. So this is one major thing we were discussing with our colleagues also recently, that decision making has been another major issue right now, because people, you never prepared people for that. You didn't have enough staff for that. People are running around helter skelter. It is a mess everywhere. Another issue that was raised about the black market initially when we were talking about ambulance services. So AMU Medical College, they tried to deal with it because ambulance services were also exploiting people a lot, because right now people just want some vehicle to take their people to the hospital or unfortunately to the graveyard. So they try to manage, they try to register the ambulance service providers, and on their permission it had to be sent. But then again, it adds to the bureaucratic hassle. So what do we do to bring back the civic sense, as we were talking about, for the common good? That has been exposed. The lack of civic sense, the lack of common good, the lack of common concern, that has been exposed right now in this pandemic situation. And even oximeters, as we were talking about oxygen cylinders, as we were talking about medicines, oximeter, the basic small little equipment,
Right.
that is also a very highly priced right now. I remember in December, November, when I bought it, I think it was for 800 or 900 rupees. Right now, somebody was telling me that they got it for 4,000 rupees. So that is the level, even oximeter, that everyone is supposed to have. And, that is the basic thing to keep a check on your, to keep a tab on your health status. So all those things, oxygen concentrators, forget about cylinders, concentrators are so difficult to get. Many of our friends, their parents are surviving somehow because of oxygen concentrators, but that is also so highly priced right now that people are finding it very difficult. So again, as we say that pandemic in these situations, they are common to all, poor, rich, but look at the situation, who's going to survive? As I think yesterday I was discussing with you Ulrich Beck's risks society. So the amount of risk we have added to the already existing risk. It has been added much more because of the lack of facilities, scarcity of resources, lack of vision. We didn't have a visionary leadership who could see it coming. And as Vikas said, when we talk about graveyards, we should have known these numbers who are participating in elections, who are participating in Kumbh Melas, in other rituals, these numbers will be converted to graveyard numbers. Definitely. It was coming. We were seeing that it was meant to happen. How come the leadership didn't see this? So, but this is unfortunate that we have a visionless leadership right now. We are on our own, totally helpless. And graveyard numbers, of course, they are so high every time they have to. We are seeing in Delhi new platforms being built for the pyre. We're seeing in Aligarh new graveyards are being dug. The graveyard digger is exhausted. Most of the graveyard diggers in Aligarh we're talking to are exhausted. They're not ready to take calls. They're saying enough. We can't do it. We also need a break. So that's the situation everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is something I want to talk to you about. Maybe you might be familiar with this. The New York Times in May 2020 had printed out the entire first page with the names of those who had died from COVID. And do you think that any of the newspapers or the news channels in India will have the courage to go ahead with that? To acknowledge the fact that there are people dying like this, there are deaths happening. Do you think that we know for a fact that the government is not going to own up to that? So, do you think that there is any newspaper out there, do you think that they're going to go ahead and do something like this?
About the
Whoever
newspapers,
would,
you're asking?
yes,
About the
yes,
media coverage? About the media coverage?
Yes, yeah. I'm talking about the media coverage.
Yeah, media coverage right now, because they are seeing and they have to show the visuals. Fortunately, unfortunately, willy-nilly, the electronic media is helpless right now because they need pictures. Fortunately, they need pictures. So they are showing this, that people are dying, but then again, they are giving the official statements parallelly and simultaneously, that the official statement says that the numbers are not that high, or the numbers are dipping suddenly. How can the numbers dip suddenly when we haven't even been able to vaccinate 5% of the population? We've not been able to do much. How can this number suddenly, it's like some miracle happening? Maybe, yeah, because some of our leaders feel they're magicians. Maybe the miracles are happening. So fortunately for electronic media, like very, very unfortunately for the people, but fortunately for us, that electronic media needs visual. So they are showing the visuals, and visuals are really, really scary and horrifying. So people are getting a glimpse of it. They're getting a hang of it. And now I don't think we even need media, because we are seeing things happening around us in our mohallas, localities, gullies, everywhere. Now the situation is really bad. In the smallest of areas, even in villages, the situation has become really horrible. So media, yeah, electronic media definitely is showing all that, though maybe not expressing it in words, the extent of it, but visuals are speaking for themselves. And print media, some of the newspapers, yeah, they are trying to say that, yes, some data is being smudged. Some newspapers, one or two newspapers are doing that, but everybody has to be very careful, because the kind of the business model that most of the business houses are following, they're depending on the revenue, depends on advertisements, and even the non-government advertisers, they also have to see the government's the side. uh, so their advertisements also depend upon that, so their supply also depends upon that. So they're failing at the business model, failing right now, because they're the lack of advertisements anyway because of this pandemic situation, and then the government's attitude towards media. Everything is adding to the problem and to the real representation of data and real representation of the ground realities.
We can't hear you, sir.
हाँ, एक तो ये जो हमने और तरुण ने काम किया था नर्सेस की भर्ती को लेकर, उसकी एक बात और मैं यहाँ थोड़ा चर्चा करना चाहूंगा कि इस समय एक दिक्कत और भी आ रही है कि जो नॉर्मल पेशेंट हैं, इनको नॉर्मल क्लिनिकल की जरूरत है, उनके लिए भी इस समय कहीं कोई इंतजाम नहीं है। तो हम लोगों ने उसमें एक बात और भी कही थी कि अगर आप जो नर्सेज लिड क्लिनिक है, अगर नर्सेज की प्रॉपर हेल्थ वर्कर की प्रॉपर जो एएनएम जीएनएम की प्रॉपर रिक्रूटमेंट कर दें, तो इस पैंडेमिक में सिर्फ वो नहीं सिर्फ महामारी से लड़ने में काम आती, बल्कि नॉर्मल जो पेशेंट आते हैं, जिनको सिर्फ नर्सेज लिड क्लिनिक की जरूरत पड़ती है, उसमें मदद हो जाती। दूसरी ये है कि अभी इस बीच में कई जगह, कई हॉस्पिटल लखनऊ में वो नोटिस पूर्ण होने लगा दिया है कि आप अपने पेशेंट को ले जाइए, यहाँ पर कोई इंतजाम नहीं है ऑक्सीजन की। हमने सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट से, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट से बहुत गुहार लगाया है, बहुत कुछ कहा है, लेकिन इसके बावजूद भी इंतजाम नहीं हो रहा है। इसको कुछ मीडिया के जो लोकल चैनल हैं यहाँ पे, कुछ छोटे-छोटे मीडिया चैनल ने, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीडिया, ये जो यूट्यूब चैनल टाइप के हैं, उन्होंने कवर किया है कि आप जो है इनको ले जाइए और इंतजाम नहीं हो पा है। दूसरा ये है कि जो इनका है मीडिया को लेकर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का, कि आप जो है बहुत नेगेटिविटी मत फैलाइए, जो शुरू में कह रहे थे कि नहीं तो आपके खिलाफ बड़ी कार्रवाई होगी। सवाल ये है ना कि आपका ओवरऑल अप्रोच का प्रॉब्लम है ना, अभी भी अप्रोच में वो रिग्रेट नहीं है। अप्रोच को थोड़ा-सा चेंज करिए कि इस पैनिक सिचुएशन में हमें मान रहे हैं कि बहुत इंतजाम नहीं था, आपके पास अरेंजमेंट नहीं था। लेकिन अभी भी इस तरह की चीज़ों को, मतलब जो पैनिक क्रिएट करने के बजाय थोड़ा-सा, वो कह रहे हैं कि आप जो है वो सकारात्मक न्यूज़ दिखाइए। अरे सकारात्मक नहीं है तो झूठ में क्यों बोलेंगे? कि आप झूठ-मूठ का ये कहने लगिए कि जो है केसेस बहुत गिर गए हैं, लेकिन अभी भी वो टोटल क्या कहते हैं, संक्रमित लोगों की संख्या तो कम हुई, लेकिन डेथ रेट अभी भी कम नहीं दिख रहा है। तो ये चीज़ें आ रही हैं, तो इसको ठीक करने की ज़रूरत है, जो कि अभी भी अप्रोच में बहुत बहुत ही कुछ अच्छा नहीं दिख रहा है। लेकिन एक इस बीच में ये अच्छी चीज़ हुई है कि लोग एक-दूसरे के बारे में, जो ये कहा जा रहा था कि सोसाइटी में एक तरह का मोरल लॉस हो, लेकिन इस बीच में मजबूती से लोग, अलग-अलग ग्रुप्स के लोग एक-दूसरे के लिए मदद कर रहे हैं, ये बड़ी बात है। ये भी खबर आ रही है कि जिनका डेथ हो रहा है, उनकी डेड बॉडी लेने उनके फैमिली या रिलेटिव्स भी नहीं आ रहे हैं। इस बीच में 2 उदाहरण जो देखने को मिला है यूपी में, खास करके हर या पूरे बाइनरी में हिंदू मिशन, हर जगह हिंदू मुस्लिम बाइनरी के तहत देखने की कोशिश होती रही है। उसमें 2 एग्ज़ाम्पल इस बीच में देखने को मिले, आज के ही अखबार में है कि यहाँ एक इलाहाबाद में ही कोई विनय थे कि उनके रिलेटिव नहीं आए, तो कुछ मुस्लिम उनके दोस्तों ने, उन्होंने जाके उनका क्रीमेशन किया। इसी तरह खबर एक मुज़फ्फरनगर में आई है कि कोई अनुभव थे, उनका कोई यूनुस थे। एक तो हिंदू मुस्लिम यूनिटी भी दिखाने की कोशिश की, ये चीज़ मीडिया में पॉजिटिव चीज़ देखने को मिली है कि लोग एक-दूसरे की मदद कर रहे हैं, बजाय इस बात के कि आपके ब्लड रिलेशन हैं कि नहीं, आपके कास्ट के हैं कि नहीं, आपके रिलीजन से हैं नहीं। जो कि यूपी में कम से कमोबेश एक बाइनरी में खड़ा करने की कोशिश करती थी। छोटा ही सही, लेकिन ये चीज़ इस बीच में देखने को मिली है।
There are oxygen langars being run in most of the places by Sikh community. So they are
या
catering to every other community, regardless of the religion, the caste. So all these things, media, they are trying to show, because again, I said I'm not sure whether they're really doing it out of a clean heart or because they need visuals. But whatever the situation is, yeah, it is being shown. And like oxygen langars, Sikh community though is known for its service to the community and to the people at
सर्विस के लिए।
large, and yeah, for its service and for all the common good. Most of the facilities, fortunately, they have again they're holding hands together and helping out. People, and media are showing it. So these visuals are also being projected, which are very, very good for the situation right now, the physical loss, the mental disturbance, and for the social fabric as well. Yeah.
एक एग्जांपल और भी
Yeah.
है कि जो बॉर्डर पे जो फार्मर्स मूवमेंट के लोग हैं, उन्होंने जो संयुक्त किसान मोर्चा का, उन्होंने कहा कि जो भी हॉस्पिटल में एसेंशियल गुड्स की जरूरत है, जो मरीजों को या दूसरे मेडिसिन की, उसके लिए उन्होंने मदद का ऐलान किया है और कुछ मदद प्रोवाइड भी किया जा रहा है। ये तो उनका ऑफिशियल प्रेस स्टेटमेंट भी था। तो ये पॉजिटिव चीज है कि लोग एक दूसरे की हेल्प के लिए भी आ रहे हैं। उम्मीद करते हैं कि इस तरह का चीजें बढ़ेगा, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट भी अपनी कुछ जिम्मेवारियां समझेंगे, तो सिचुएशन है कि हम लोग इस पेंडेमिक से उबर पाएंगे।
Yeah, because otherwise, no matter how much we do at individual level, we cannot compensate for the larger requirement that is there. Right. So we need the infrastructure to be in place for us also to be able to help others. We need the infrastructure. We are people carrying money, lakhs and lakhs of rupees in their pocket. They're not finding the right place. They're not finding beds. They're not finding treatment. So what will you do? How will you help people? So this kind of helplessness, which we are facing because of lack of facilities, because even when we want to help, when we're trying to help, people are running around with people. They're forgetting that they might also contract the disease. Ready to contribute, we're ready to do things, but where to go? Where to find the resources? Individuals helpless. So now when we want to help, how do we help? What is the facility? Where to go? So that is another problem, that even when people want to help, there is no way to help them. So this kind of helplessness is adding to the trauma that we're going through.
Right.
I understand. Yeah, totally.
स्टेट का वो नहीं हो सकता है ना हेल्प, इंडिविजुअल हेल्प तो कुछ लिमिट के लिए हो सकता है, स्टेट का जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का विकल्प थोड़ी हो सकते हैं इंडिविजुअल। कैसे मदद करें, तो बड़ी दिक्कत है ना कि हम मदद करना भी चाहें तो नहीं कर सकते हैं। हम लोगों ने भी कुछ कोशिश किया था कुछ लोगों को ऑक्सीजन सिलेंडर प्रोवाइड करने, लेकिन 2-3 ऐसे केसेस सुनने में रहा कि वो नहीं रहे, कि पास्ड अवे ऑन 23rd। तो कोशिश भी हम लोग कर रहे हैं, लेकिन हम लोग उसका स्टेट का उसका विकल्प नहीं हो सकते ना, उसको तो वो मैकेनिज्म उनके पास है, उनके पास पावर है, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है। हाँ, वॉलंटरी लोग कर रहे हैं, ये तो एक अच्छी बात है, लेकिन वो करने का काम तो स्टेट रिप्रेजेंटेटिव का ही है, स्टेट मशीनरी को ही करना है।
I'll tell you one experience somebody shared. So her uncle needed dialysis, and the hospital said that first they have to get the COVID negative report for that. And right now it's so difficult to find the slots for tests. Even slots are not available for tests. So they've been booking slots, and all the slots they're full. So finally, when they got the slot, and by the time the test was done, the report couldn't come and the person died. So people are dying like that, and these kind of requirements and the hassles. And his son, like this person's cousin, he also contracted COVID. He was in ICU, not knowing that his father was gone because he couldn't be on dialysis. And the helplessness, as I was also referring to yesterday, that right now, earlier when we took action, that we did our best. So we couldn't have gone beyond this point, and we couldn't have saved. So, like destiny or something, we didn't feel like, okay, it was destiny. We felt that, okay, we did our best. We used our resources to the maximum. The facility was given, but the person couldn't survive. But right now, we don't even have that satisfaction, which is killing us even more. That, this satisfaction of doing our best, we're not getting that satisfaction because we know that we're not able to do our best. We know that people are dying unnecessary. Satisfaction that keeps you sane. That satisfaction also we're not getting of doing our best. Yeah,
I totally understand. So now I would like to address how your state has been dealing with the vaccination situation. Is it taken with the required seriousness? Are people afraid to go and get vaccinated? Are people aware about the importance of getting vaccinated, even if it's just one dose? What are your takes on that? Suyar sir, would you like to talk about that?
I think in the case of vaccination, our government was more interested in showing this as a Guinness Book of World Record than vaccinating its people. So there are there are segmented vaccination going on. First of all, which was more or less right, that we should get vaccinate people who are elderly, so more than 45 and 50. So we were vaccinating, but it was not a inclusive. It was not an inclusive approach. That is why, and there was continuously this press release and media coverage that we are vaccinating on a world's largest vaccination drive. We were more focused on it, and there were some issues, there were some rumors regarding vaccination. Government didn't bother to to resolve it. That if our people are skeptical about the vaccine, if they have doubt regarding the vaccine, we should clear it, because vaccine is very necessary. But they didn't do anything, any of these things, and they just and phase 1 passed, and phase 2 is going to be started in first May.
Yeah,
Okay.
people
What
are
about you,
still
ma'am?
hesitant. People are still hesitant. They are not very sure of all ages. I was speaking with the XPC saying, yeah, people are still hesitant because, first of all, people have not been educated properly on vaccines, on the effects of vaccination, the need of vaccination, what vaccine does, and how far it helps. And it's not a complete shield, but 70%, like this little the severity might be lowered of the condition and all that. So people needed to be educated on that. So education didn't happen, awareness campaigns didn't happen to that extent. So people are hesitant. And what is happening right now, because I don't know the procedure that, because before vaccinating anybody or any sort of vaccine for that matter, first people should be, at least temperature has to be tested, temperature has to be checked. That nothing of that sort is happening. So people who are already infected, they might not know that they're infected, they didn't go for the test, they went for the vaccine, somehow situation or their condition deteriorated and they died. And people are seeing this kind of a situation all around them. So people are hesitant, skeptical, because they're seeing that yes, some people who took vaccine suddenly in a couple of days or immediately they collapsed. So the reason is very different why they're collapsing, because if they've already contracted the infection and then you're taking vaccine, it's not going to help. So proper education of how and when vaccine works, and in what duration, the time duration of it, and lack of education, not the school education, this kind of ability of state government in general, the state machinery had to take care of it, that they had to have a very, very strong awareness drive before vaccinating people. So people are still hesitant and they're actually scared. Now I think it is getting better, but like 10 days before the situation was worse, people were really reluctant. We were trying to force people to get vaccinated and they were reluctant. They were like, no, no, no. So people are still hesitant, but now I think they're feeling that there is no choice and they might have to go for it. So now it's not that they're willingly going for it, but by force, or by seeing the harrowing situation right now, they might go for it. And they're not going for it in large numbers. There would have been riots right now. Things are also not in place, infrastructure, vaccines, and numbers. So all that is there. So we're not sure how the vaccine situation will turn out now, when after 1st May they're going to open it up for 18 and above.
Yes.
वैक्सीन की रेफरेंस में एक बात है जो तरु कर रही थी कि वो लोग कह रहे हैं ना कि पहले बाद में देखेंगे, पहले कोई वो चार्म नहीं कि हम पहले लगा के हम सुरक्षित हो जाएं। और मजेदार बात यह है कि जो मोबाइल में हमारे किसी को फोन करिए तो अब विज्ञापन आते हैं कि भारत में जो बनी हुई जो वैक्सीन है वो सुरक्षित है, इसलिए घबराएं नहीं, अपनी बारी आने के वक्त लगा लें। मतलब ये पहली बार ऐसा हो रहा है कि वैक्सीन की जो डिमांड होनी चाहिए इस पेंडेमिक से इतना परेशान होने के बाद पीपुल्स का, तो ये विल होना चाहिए कि जैसी वैक्सीन आएगा हम लगवा लेंगे। लेकिन वो बात है ना कि जो गवर्नमेंट का, स्टेट का होता है ये कि वो क्या कहते हैं, बिलीव बिल्डअप करना, कि भरोसा, आपको लोगों को भरोसा नहीं रहा है, क्योंकि इस पेंडेमिक की सिचुएशन की शुरुआत से ही जिस तरह का वो कंफ्यूजन क्रिएट किया गया। जब केसेस कम थे तो आपने इस तरह एकाएक लॉकडाउन कर दिया, जब केसेस बढ़ने लगे तो आप अनलॉक कर रहे हैं। तो जो प्रॉपर अरेंजमेंट के साथ जो चीजें फॉलो अप में ले जाना चाहिए था, वो उसमें दिक्कत रही। जो मैं शुरू नहीं कहा था, जो डॉक्टर हैं उनको अपना काम करने दीजिए, साइंटिस्ट को अपना काम करने दीजिए। उनकी तरफ से अगर ये एक अपील होती, पिछली बार लॉकडाउन से लेकर या जो कुछ भी प्रिकॉशंस लिए जाए वो अपील होती, या इस वैक्सीन को लेकर अगर अपील उनकी तरफ से ज्यादा हो, तो एक ट्रस्ट बिल्डअप का मामला है ना, तो ट्रस्ट बिल्डअप तो इसमें है नहीं। तो उस कंफ्यूजन के चलते भी एक हो गया कि वैक्सीन जो है उसको लेकर एक डर रहा लोगों को मन में। ये अभी भी बहुत सारे लोगों में बात करता हूँ तो कंफ्यूजन है कि वैक्सीन लगवाएं कि न लगवाएं, सही है या गलत है। ये कंफ्यूजन वाला क्रिएट है, दोनों साइड से प्रॉब्लम है। मतलब एज ए सिटीजन हमारे अंदर भी प्रॉब्लम है, लेकिन एक स्टेट का जो जो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी होनी चाहिए, जो अकाउंटेबिलिटी होनी चाहिए, उसकी तरफ से भी एक दिक्कत आई है।
One point adding in Vikas's point, the current government, BJP government, and BJP in itself has exploited rumors and fake news so much in a so large amount that we are surrounded by lots of rumor. We are not able to discriminate between the facts and rumors, and that is what happening in the country. Earlier we were spreading news about child abductors, and we were spreading news about beef consuming and etc. And these are the rumors which are going and affecting people, that the vaccine is not safe. That is why it is a seed sowed by the government itself, sowed by the BJP people itself. Came up
and another thing, and yes, he's right. Another thing, that the institutions are eclipsed by one person addressing every time. All the institutions, the medical staff should be addressing the nation rather right now. The required people who are needed to address the country, who are needed to address the people, who are needed to spread awareness regarding vaccines and other health requirement, they are not seen on the frame. So why should just one man address every issue? How do we have trust? Like the person who has knowledge of these things, person who is dealing with these things, virologists, why don't we talk about them? Why don't they address us? We would be, there would be more trust if the actual people who are dealing with it addressed the people at large. No, that's what I was saying, that, we're not a person, we're not a personality-driven country. It's a democracy.
No.
We're driven by institutions. We've built institutions together, and every institution, when these things were coming out, when these things were coming up, when democracy world over was happening, when we were seeing two models, the American model of state system, the Russian model of state system, and we're a mix of both. And why were these institutions, when we read, our political science theories, why were these institutions created? These institutions were created for specialization, right? For mitigating the chaos, for dealing with the chaos, so that people know where to go for the right information. So why aren't those people addressing the people who specialize in this? Why is one person addressing the nation every time? Why were institutions created? What was the need? Trust because of that. How can we keep trusting one person who must have made a lot of mistakes in his own life, not a specialist in everything?
So now I have to ask about something else I heard via the social media, etc. People are saying that the doctors and the healthcare workers are actually not encouraging people to get tested. Even if they go with the symptoms, they are told, that they have typhoid or malaria or something like that. They're not even, prescribed tests for COVID-19. Is that true? What is your take on that?
I don't think it's true, but if it is happening, there might be a reason behind this denial of, encouragement of this discouragement of testing. There might be a reason, because lots and lots of people are coming with the same symptoms, viral fever, typhoid, malaria, and COVID. Both have all of them have more or less same symptoms. So we are lacking of facilities. We should keep it in mind. If any doctor is saying something, there may be reason behind it. I cannot, I would not regard it that there is some personal means or personal self behind it, behind the discouragement of this testing. There may be a reason that do not have the facilities, because once a doctor in India highlighted that scarcity and deficiency of things or facilities, and he got arrested. It was Dr. Kafil Khan. He highlighted that we don't have oxygen due because of the government, and he got arrested. That is why people, the doctor may be pretending that you can be all right, just don't test, because deep inside they know that they don't have testing kits, testing facility.
Yeah,
It's my take, I think.
you're right. These cases have happened actually. Yesterday also somebody was telling me that her cousin was treated for typhoid instead of COVID. Then the symptoms were of COVID and they actually had COVID. Later they got to know. So it is true that, yeah, this is happening. But as Suyash said, maybe because of the lack of facilities, or there is another reason that people are also in denial. They also don't want to accept that they have COVID. So they are okay. They also want that, some other tests should happen before getting to COVID. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that. So in our own personal experience with some of our own faculty members, this happened and we lost them, that they were in denial, that they have COVID. In fact, their family, some of them didn't even isolate. So what do we say when the very educated people are also in denial? And I don't know, maybe because of the past stigma that was attached to COVID, they have in their memories and the situation of our isolation centers, which is in tatters right now. So they feel that if they get to know, or if people get to know they have COVID, or if the test is done, they might be taken to those centers, which are also full and with total lack of facilities, and they're being neglected there. People are seeing that their situation, some of my own people who were taken to the COVID, isolation centers, they were struggling even for warm food. They were not getting warm water. So what happened in Aligarh, and I don't want to name the hospital right now, but where they were taken to, they didn't even have clean water. They've brought me here and we don't even have clean drinking water. So we called up a few people and then they said, no, it's impossible. We said, but it's happening. Please keep a check on that. So then they said, okay, we are arranging for, a water cooler you can get from there. We said, but so these are the problems that are deterring people from, accepting that they have COVID, or sharing that they have COVID, or getting tested even. So they also want that, something else happens. Maybe it's not COVID. They also want that test says something else. So people are in denial, lack of facilities, everything is leading to this kind of confusion. Yeah.
इसमें दो बातें और हैं. एक तो ये है ना कि बीमारी को लेकर जो स्टिग्मा हमारी सोसाइटी में रहा है वो पहले से रहा है. लोग अपनी बीमारी छिपाते रहे हैं. किसी को कोई बीमारी हुई है क्योंकि सोसाइटी का, बाकी लोगों का रवैया, जो एक तरह का जो अजीब किस्म का रवैया रहा है ना, उसके चलते भी स्टिग्मा रहा है. कोरोना में भी ये स्टिग्मा काम कर रहा है कि हम अपना टेस्ट नहीं कराएंगे, जो है कि टेस्ट कराने के बाद ही लोगों का रवैया बहुत बड़ा एकदम अनटचेबल जैसा बिहेव करने लगते हैं. जैसे मैं जिस फ्रेंड्स का जिक्र कर रहा था कि उनकी सिस्टर को भी कोविड की प्रॉब्लम आ गई. उनका रिपोर्ट जो है टेस्टेड पॉजिटिव आया. वो प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल में गए. उन्होंने वहां पर स्टाफ को फोन किया, उन्होंने फोन नहीं लिया. उसके बाद फिर हुआ ये कि वो जब वहां फिर रिपोर्ट लेने चले गए तो उनको कहा कि वो बिगड़ कहने लगा कि अरे आप यहाँ कैसे चले आए, जो है आपको कोविड है बताया भी नहीं. तो कहा हमको कैसे पता लगेगा, टेस्ट हमने कराया है, रिपोर्ट आपको देना, मैं दूरी पे खड़ा हुआ हूँ, मुझे नहीं, मेरी बहन को टेस्ट पॉजिटिव हुआ है, तो हम कैसे इन्फॉर्म करेंगे, आप फोन रिसीव नहीं कर रहे हैं. तो ये स्टिग्मा भी है ना कि लोगों में डर है कि हम टेस्ट नहीं कराएंगे. दूसरा है कि अभी भी बड़े सेक्शन में ये है कि कोविड सही में बीमारी है या नहीं है, ये भी एक प्रॉब्लम है. तो ये दोनों का मिला जुला रूप है कि लोग टेस्ट कराने से भी बचते हैं कि टेस्ट कराने के बाद रवैया सोसाइटी का बाकी जगह बदल जाता है. दूसरा, अगर कोविड टेस्ट पॉजिटिव है तो कहीं भी आप ट्रीटमेंट का जो प्रॉब्लम है, इसलिए कहते हैं कि वो एक साइकोलॉजिकल है ना, काम करने लगता है. जैसे कि मुझे कोई सिम्टम नहीं है फिर भी कोविड टेस्ट पॉजिटिव हूँ, मैं आइसोलेशन में हूँ. किसी को हो सकता है कि पूरा सिम्टम हो, उसको हो भी न भी हो. तो ये स्टिग्मा का भी प्रॉब्लम है. दूसरा उसी से जुड़ा हुआ ना कि आपकी हेल्थ फैसिलिटी वगैरह नहीं है तो भी लोग बचते हैं उससे. तो ये 2-3 रीजन है इसके पीछे, टेस्ट करने उसके बचने के पीछे.
Okay, so I think we are going to wrap up this interview. So in a country that was divided by the government, now united by a pandemic, and with a government that is still denying every attack, every truth being, laid against it. Let's hope that we all come out of this second wave of pandemic that is horrifying together. Thank you for your time and thank you for opening up to us. We know how personal all these experiences were to all of you. Thank you so much. I would like to thank you from on the behalf of the Fawn Live team and on the behalf of all those who are in doubt regarding what is happening in the north. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Take care.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. And
Thank
hope
you.
we and hope we survive the survivor's guilt as well. Because those of us
Yes.
who survive will die of grief and guilt in this situation. So I hope we're able to overcome all that.